Have you been feeling unmotivated, tired, or just like you don't want to go running lately? Then be aware, it might not be laziness. It might just be that you are overtrained. I've had phases where I thought I was losing discipline, but in reality, my body was just exhausted. If you're new to this channel, let me quickly introduce myself to you. My name is Ruth. I'm working a demanding job as a banker, and I have started running about 15 years ago. Just recently I have gone through some hard times with overtraining and burnout. And so now I am helping myself and other runners create a more sustainable training routine. I have seen a lot of overachievers, both at work and at training, pointing the fingers at themselves as being too lazy or not having enough discipline, but without looking at the bigger reasons behind their tiredness. So let's first talk about the 3 typical signs that we can see when we enter a stage of overtraining. The first sign that I would like to mention here is that your runs feel harder than they should. And you can see it matching in the data as well. So you might see something like heart rate spikes. When usually your heart rate would be quite steady throughout your runs, you see crazy spikes, maybe at the beginning or throughout your training, or even towards the end, spiking up a lot more than usual. The other pattern you might see is that your resting heart rate increases. And of course, matching to this data, you're feeling disproportionately exhausted, even though it was supposed to be an easy run. Then the second symptom that you will notice is that you are feeling tired. And I don't mean a tiredness that you can take a night of sleep and feel recovered afterwards, but that you're actually feeling a very systemic fatigue. And even if you take a nap or you have a really good night of sleep, you still do not feel fully restored. And then the third symptom, I would almost say as a result of the first 2 symptoms, is that you don't really enjoy your runs anymore. The motivation to run is gone. What was once something you were excited about and that you wanted to move forward on and progress becomes something that is more like an obligation, like another task that you need to check off your list. And with this loss of motivation, you might also start to feel resentful or frustrated towards your training. If these are the symptoms that you are currently experiencing, it's quite likely that you are already in some stage of overtraining. And let's first of all make a very important reframe here. This is not laziness. If you're feeling frustrated about how your training is going, laziness does not make us feel frustrated, but overtraining does. And if you're now thinking, well, maybe I'm frustrated, I'm tired, but then I will just work harder and I will train more, I will train harder, and I will get through this. Let me just stop you there, because that's exactly where I've been. And I can tell you, when your body is already sending you all these signals, you are really walking on a sharp edge. I have pushed harder and harder until my body eventually forced me to stop training, working, everything completely. And I really don't want you to go there. It's a very dark sport, and it also takes an incredible amount of time to get out of this. Actually, I'm now in 2.5 months and I'm still not yet at all recovered, nor even where I can actually train for 3 times a week, to be honest. So let's not get you there. Please stop and take this as a reminder that your body actually needs rest in order to recover and to grow back stronger. We cannot simply push on and push on it will not do us any good in the end. So if you are already seeing some signs of overtraining, we should be very careful about how we move forward. And the first thing that I would like to encourage you to do is to really take rest as an important factor to your training. I want it to be as important as your training, actually, because that's what it is. And that's just as easy as it's said, but without your rest, your training means nothing. During your rest, your body will build back stronger. So give it the same priority. Don't treat it as a luxury that you can just throw out whenever something else comes at you at life. Rest is equally as important as your training. So let's schedule it this way. You schedule your training and you schedule your rest. It's equally as important. Then the next thing, of course, that we can do is to look at the overall stress factors in our life. Because it's not only training that's contributing towards our overall stress load, right? So maybe we do find some stress factors that we can actually reduce or avoid all at once. Reducing our overall stress load will immensely help us cope with the training stress that we experience. And if those two things are not helping, then I would also encourage you to slow down your runs, to not let that heart rate go up too much. Because if it does, and we're putting all this additional stress in our body, it's much more likely to go down the wrong path, the path which I unfortunately took. And yeah, I really do believe that if we put less stress on our body, if we reduce the stress that we experience through our training, yes, unfortunately, it is a stress factor to our body, one of many. But this can also still be a way to move forward without quitting your training. Yeah, we're still training, we're still running. Just take the intensity out. Maybe you don't have to do this really hard interval session after a really hard day at work. And I know this is difficult to hear, but sometimes taking a step back is actually the way to move forward, especially before your body forces you to stop completely. If you found some kind of value in this video, I would be really happy if you subscribe. I'm still starting out and trying to grow this channel, so it really means a lot to me. So then, train harder, recover better, and I will see you in the next video.